my advice would be to first understand your data well. See if you want to, uh, if you are leveraging your data right. That is the one thing that you need to inspect for yourself. And the second thing is your team's bandwidth and time is one of the most important resource. So the best thing for you to do is find a platform or a tool that helps you optimize that to the best that you can do. So that would be very, very important.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Momentum Playbook, where SaaS leaders tell their stories on how they built it, growth strategies, big wins, and what's working now, helping other leaders accelerate faster than ever. Today, we've got a great guest. We're joined by co-founder and CTO Ankit Bansal of Sortment, a platform that helps you engage with your customers through email, SMS, WhatsApp, and more, completely self-serve, very important, enabling you to build dynamic campaigns and customer journeys without relying on engineering teams. Very, very big step and a big move in that regard. Welcome, Ankit.
Thank you so much, Reggie, for having me here.
Terrific. Really glad you're here today. Let's talk about your foundational journey a little bit, Ankit. Tell us a little bit about your path from engineer to co-founder and CTO across Sortment. What were the key inflection points and what helped you transition into business strategy and leadership?
Okay, all right. So I started my first company back in the college. I was not at all sure how you build a company, but that was my first experience. Really loved it. Post that, I joined my first company, Oracle, where I worked as a software engineer. Uh, but the in the college, the bug of starting your own company had already bitten. So then I decided to start my own company in 2020. I started my first company, which is Shopflow, and we were catering e-commerce, D2C businesses based out of India. And that I would say was the inflection point for me to move from being a builder, being an engineer, to someone who can strategically run a business. And which led me to my second company, Sortment, where we are helping marketeers do marketing better.
Fantastic, fantastic. So yeah, and I did mention you've also founded two other companies, and we'll talk a little bit about those as well. When you founded Sortment, what problem in market technology did you see you believed wasn't being solved for, and how did you validate that there was a real market for it?
Yeah. So um, in my stint at Oracle, I worked in on this product called Oracle Responses. So it is a very enterprisey marketing software. And I thought that, okay, with all of these powerful automation tools, marketers would be able to do their job really well. However, when I talk to marketers, I realized that they have a lot of ideas to execute. However, they are limited by the technology, which was very surprising to me. So they were sitting on like gold mine of data, but they were not able to leverage that without engineering help. They had a lot of campaign ideas that they want to execute. However, doing like those campaign ideas was taking a lot of time and bandwidth for them. What I realized in our journey was that uh, given with the help of AI and LLMs, we can help marketeers provide a co-pilot via Sortment, where both of these things they can do better without depending on let's say engineering team for the data and getting bottlenecked on their own bandwidth for their campaign ideas.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Huge need for that, no question. As CTO, you not only build the product, but you also make it marketable. How do you align your engineering roadmap with the go-to-market strategy and sales team priorities? It's pretty delicate balance. How do you do that?
And that is, I would say, the most important part as a CTO that you have to take care of. Um, so your engineering roadmap is always packed with a lot of things that you need to build, especially in martech domain where there are so many products out there. There are always so many things to build. As a company who has started out like 2 years ago, you have really a very wide range of things to build and cover. However, what we do is we realize that you cannot build everything on day one. How we have the base layer ready for as a foundation for our Martech platform. What we do is that we spend a dedicated bandwidth on building like very good sales demos. So what we do is our product and engineering team, we vibe code demos so that it is easier for the buyer to visualize, okay, what they are getting into once they are buying the product. And that has really helped us iterate a lot on how the final UX is required to be. Uh, and that has really saved us a ton of engineering bandwidth on actually building out and then realizing, okay, we made something which is not very helpful for the user. So that vibe coding has really helped us uh, really build experiences and demos for the sales team so that they can really show what we are building, what our vision is.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. And then maybe you're getting right to where my next question is going here. What have you found to be the biggest disconnects, and how have you bridged them as you were going through that process?
So disconnects in the tech and sales process.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting prepared for it and you're thinking about the sales team and their go to market, have there
Mhm.
been any, I guess, would probably be the better question.
Yeah, so generally the disconnect we see in the sales and engineering process, like engineering team is always driven by having a solid architecture, a technical backbone, so that the product can work in like a really efficient manner for the end consumer. However, at this stage of the GTM, we have to optimize for the experience, like the the thing is that we are building a different platform. We are building an AI native marketing platform, which is going to be very different from the traditional platforms. So really, you have to really build an experience in a manner which the user can fathom, but still it is new in a manner that it is transformational to the way they are working. They are actually able to do work faster. So both of these things sometimes contradict with each other.
Yeah.
You have to you have to sort of like bridge away from the old way of doing things to the future of how MarTech softwares are going to work. So that is where a lot of friction lies.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. So let's talk about scaling a SaaS company, particularly in MarTech. We know it has its unique challenges. What are the
Mhm.
top two or three strategy moves you've made at Sortment that helped you scale efficiently? And what worked and what didn't work early on?
So one of the bet that we took in Sortment is that Sortment is not going to be like any other CDP. We are going to operate on a company's data infrastructure. We are going to work on top of them. What really makes it unique is that it becomes very easy to onboard. Like you can just plug in Sortment in any company in like 2 hours if you have a data platform, if you have a data warehouse. The challenge that brings to us is that you have to really also find companies who are data savvy, who are building their data infrastructure right. So, with its benefit of faster onboarding, we have to really work with companies who care about data, who's, who understand the importance of their data infrastructure and are able to and want to leverage it for their marketing. So that is, I would say, one thing which is helping us and differentiating us from the rest of the platforms.
Great, great, fantastic. You mentioned publicly that Sortment focuses on US markets while ShopFlow focuses more on India. Uh, how does a difference in market dynamics, geography, or buyer behavior or marketing maturity influence your product design, how you're conducting your sales conversations, and kind of your positioning overall?
So actually, there is a very stark difference in terms of how people look at SaaS in India versus US. So in India, people would companies would move really fast, but they are very price sensitive. So people generally do not value. the software product as much as they value it in the US. However, the like it is much easier to get people to try your product and show them value. In the US, like the data, I see that data governance is non-negotiable, and which is why we build Sortment uh, in a way that we uh, do not move or any data out of a company's infrastructure. The process here is a little bit slow. However, trying new tools and platforms. However, once you are inside the company, you are able to show value. People are not going to negotiate really hard with you on the pricing side of the things. So that is one stark difference that I see in India versus US. In India, one more thing we have seen is that the founders are a lot more involved in the buying process. Generally,
Mm,
it comes top down a lot. However, in the US, um, I see that the teams are much more empowered to make such decisions
got it.
and
Got it.
evaluations.
Got it. So that must put a different kind of lens on your go-to-market in both areas. Very, very different. Um,
Yeah.
Very good. Very interesting. From your vantage point, what are the biggest changes you see happening in MarTech over the next 3 to 5 years? AI, data privacy, identity resolution, first-party data, and how are you guys positioning Sortment to ride these waves going forward?
One of the major change in marketing is going to be the content. So there is going to be a lot of AI generated content out there in the marketing. So, I mean, we already see a lot of emails that are coming to us, which are personalized and AI generated. So it's going to be a lot more out there on your face. So while using AI, while in Sortment we help marketing teams to leverage AI, how can you still keep the human side of it? How can you use AI but still are able to convey your brand guidelines, your how a human talks to, let's say, your how you would talk to your customer without sounding like AI. That would become really, really important. Um, the other thing that we see is the importance of like uh, securing and keeping the first party data with yourself. So the marketing tools that we see out there, they were built in uh, between 2010 and 15. That is when most of the companies like Braze, Iterable, they started. Um, the way they have built the platform was the right way to do in that era. They build it on their own data stacks. They absorb the data out of your company and then they have built marketing automation software on top of it, which was the right thing to do back then. The data foundations that were not that strong at that time. However, today it is much easier for a company to take control of your entire data and keep it within their own infrastructure without sending it out and making a replica.
Yeah, yeah,
And and I believe that with AI, it is becoming much more important because if AI has context of your data, it can give you better insights and you can really leverage your data very, very well. And so we at Sortment are banking on the shift that people will become uh, very aware, self-aware of how they should use their data, how they should share the data with third parties, and they how they can leverage their data with the help of AI. So these things are going to be very, very important
yeah, yeah,
now
no
than ever.
question. Very good. No, I appreciate all of that. You mentioned email sounding like AI, and a lot of those are out there right now. Do you think the average business buyer or business target or consumer, for that matter, is just starting to be able to detect those things written by AI? And if so, what are some of the things people are seeing out there that you think are driving them to believe they're reading something coming from AI?
Yeah, so very recently, what happened, I received an email where the person was sent me an invite to grab a coffee in New York. mentioning that I saw you there. We should meet at this coffee place. And but I was not in New York. I was in India at that time. So like it was very clear that this
Yeah.
was generated by AI, and
Okay.
like the basically the whole narrative of the email was on a fake premise. So all of those things they start to happen when AI is sort of trying to generate
Yeah.
emails that sound personalized.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a great example. um, Talking about hard decisions. So, what's the hardest decision or trade-off you've made, recently between building new features, improving performance and scalability, and your go-to-market urgency? What are some of the trade-offs you've been balancing and the calls you've been making recently?
So we have been building a lot of agents that can help marketeers, and that is what Sortment is all about. However, we realize that like having just agents do the work is not very easy for marketeers to understand how exactly the work is going to happen. I mean, because there are plethora of chat interfaces where people are typing something and getting some output in return. So what we realized was that instead of building the platform, we have to first figure out the right form factor, which uh, helps marketer understand, okay, what is going under the surface. So instead of actually building out things, what we did was we spent a lot of time in crafting different variations of how our um, agent interface should look like in Sortment. So we built a lot of different prototypes, talked to a lot of marketeers, and realized that um we have to, while the AI is doing the work, it should uh, rewrite the work back in the form of interfaces which marketeers understand. For example, when we are building an audience, we should be able to show the audience in a beautiful UI, which they are used to in the existing marketing tools. Um, so we built a segmentation engine which was very straightforward to build initially, but what we realized was to actually trust AI, we have to rework it and present it in a manner that marketeers are able to uh, then operate on top of it. So that was one detour we had to take while building Sortment.
Okay.
It was painful for sure.
Yeah.
However, it built a lot of trust with the
That's great.
customer.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, when you think about how you decide to prioritize, what advice would you give other tech leaders also doubling as business leaders? They're kind of on both sides, sounds like you are. What kind of
Mhm.
advice would you give them?
I would say do not, at least in the beginning journey of your product, in the beginning of your product, you do not focus a lot on getting the perfect, technically perfect platform out there. Instead of that, focus on the user side of the thing. See how the user is going to use the platform. And for that, today we are living in a world where it is becoming very easy to vibe code things and get the real feedback from the customers. Do that first and work backwards on your platform from there. uh, because we have spent literally like 1 year building Sortment as a platform, and then we went to the customers and realized that what we have done is not the right thing to do.
Got it.
So
Very,
yeah,
very wise. Yeah, like you said, painful, but also the right thing to do.
yeah.
I'm sure it was. So finally, what advice would you give marketing leaders and business executives overall who are evaluating MarTech solutions and looking to partner with vendors like Sortment today?
Okay, so my advice would be to first understand your data well. See if you want to, uh, if you are leveraging your data right. That is the one thing that you need to inspect for yourself. And the second thing is uh, your team's bandwidth and time is one of the most important resource. So you the the best thing for you to do is find a platform or a tool that helps you optimize that to to the best that you can do. So that would be very, very important.
And optimizing your team's time. How do you go about that? How do you go about thinking about that? Making sure they're engaged, they're not overwhelmed, they've got that sense of direction, they're following you and leadership to move in the right direction. What are some of the things you do to keep your team focused?
So the most important thing for the teams is to have a goal or a mission. Uh, when you have nailed down the goal really well, the rest of the things just come together very well. So for us, it is our mission is to make marketing seamless and very easy for the marketeers. And that mission is really helping our teams to navigate the right ways of doing things and building the platform and keeping them uh, in line with the goal of the company.
Very good. A bonus question, and then we'll wrap it up here. What part of the business or technology are you personally really looking forward to in the next 12 to 18 months?
So one of the things which I am personally very excited about is background agents or ambient agents. So when you interact with ChatGPT or any other conversational AI interface, the thing is you are prompting it to do some work for you and you're getting the output. However, we we have not seen a lot of platforms, not even just in MarTech overall, like we have not seen platforms who are autonomously working for you in the background while you are sleeping. Uh, so what I'm very excited about is that while let's say the marketing team is having fun with their family at home, there are agents who are trying to build, let's say, campaigns uh, so that the next morning when you come back to office, you can evaluate and approve those things and do your work much faster as compared to then essentially nudging the AI to do something for, let's say, your next project.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm really excited about. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, listen, MCAT, it's been great having you on today. You have quite a career you've built for yourself so far. Sounds like you've got a great product in Sortment and a couple other companies you founded as well. So thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all your insights. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much, Reggie. It was fun chatting with you.
Great, thank you. I agree. Thanks very much.